I'm life and business coach Samantha Sivring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about one of the easiest ways to make money in your business. How exciting is this topic? We are going to be talking about how to get repeat customers. I love this topic. I've actually been thinking about it a lot because something that I am really starting to notice in my business is that I have a lot of repeat customers. I have a lot of clients from the past who have joined Mama to CEO, who have joined Simple Scaling Mastermind. I have a lot of clients from Mama to CEO who decide to go on to Simple Scaling Mastermind. They come into Mama to CEO. They learn to make money. They hit 5K months. They start earning probably exactly what they wanted to make or even more than they wanted to make when they first joined. And then they start to see the vision of having $1 million business. And so then they join Simple Scaling Mastermind. And Simple Scaling Mastermind is designed to have repeat clients. It's designed to walk somebody through the process of scaling $1 million business. And there is so much value in keeping variables the same. So what I'm saying when I say that is there's so much value in when you pick a mastermind, when you pick a mentor, and you align with their philosophy and their process, you start to follow their process and their teachings. There is so much power in continuing on with that process and with those teachings and that philosophy. It compounds over time. So what a lot of people do is think about like signing up with a coach as like a one-time thing, and they're going to see how it goes, and then they're going to try another coach and another coach. I call this shiny coach syndrome, and I know there's some of you out there who have shiny coach syndrome because I have seen you be in every single person's mastermind. And here's what I want to offer to you. What might you be missing out on by not having the consistency of following one person's process and philosophy all the way to the result? I'm a total product of this. I have been working with the same business coach consistently for years. So when all of you look at my success and you look at what I've created, that is one of the secrets to my success. Not that particular coach, but the act of being committed and all in on a particular mentor and their philosophy and their process. It honestly doesn't matter which one you choose. So I want you to really think about that. I actually asked somebody that in my most recent mastermind launch. She was debating between mine and a different mastermind, and she really wasn't sure which one she wanted. She had really compelling reasons for both. And I asked her, if you could get the same exact result either place, which one would you choose? And she knew immediately which one was the one that she wanted to be in. So I think that that is such a good question to ask yourself. If I could get the same result in either of these places, which is the place that I want to be? So I really strongly encourage you to commit. Commit to one process, commit to one coach, one mentor, one program, because when you keep all of those variables the same and you're working towards your goals and you don't allow yourselves to change those variables, the thing you have to change is yourself and your thinking And guess what? That's where all your results come from. I think there's so much power in this. So I could talk about that all day long, but let's talk about why and how of repeat customers. So I said at the beginning of this episode that having repeat customers is the easiest way to make money. That's because you have somebody here who's already familiar with who you are. They already like you, know you, trust you, literally with their credit card, with their money, and presumably had an amazing time working with you. Why wouldn't they want to continue working with you? Somebody who has already given you money is so much more likely to give you money again. And it's so much easier to sell them on that than selling some random brand new person. Although we love the random brand new people, they're actually not that random and they're fantastic. And we also love the repeat people. So here's why they matter. Repeat customers matter because they can be an amazing source of referrals, and they can be an amazing pillar of strength in your business, consistency in your business. They can actually make your experience in your business so much better because you're building long-term relationships with clients. There's so many benefits when you're over-delivering to your clients, which is one of the ways that we create the repeat client. When you're over-delivering to them, they become like another marketing avenue. So when you are serving your clients really well, it's actually another form of marketing that most people really don't talk about. But when you're serving your clients really well, they're going to talk about you. They're going to rave about how amazing it's been to work with you. Their friends are going to want to work with you after they see how much their friend was impacted by it. When you've over-delivered, they're going to want to renew, and that means you make more money. So I think that this can be such a powerful tool, and most people aren't really thinking about how to do it. Most people are thinking that it's kind of out of their control and like hopefully people renew. I actually was one of these people. I actually felt very, very weird about having renewal conversations with my clients for a really long time. When I had a one-on-one practice, this was when this was going on, like a lot of times I wouldn't even ask people if they wanted to renew because I was so in my own mind drama about thinking that they didn't want to. And it wasn't until way after the fact that I had this realization. It was actually when I was working with my one-on-one life coach. Let's see, it was either our last session or our second to last. It was our second to last. So it was our second to last session in like the very first period of time that we worked together. So we only had 1 week left. We were at the end of the second to last session. And I had been wondering for a couple weeks, like, is she going to invite me to renew? She is like a really in-demand coach, by the way. Like she has a years long waiting list. Like it's impossible to get in. She has like some pretty high profile type clients. So like I truly had this thought, like maybe she doesn't want to keep working with me. And I was like a little nervous because she hadn't brought it up yet. So on that call at the very end, I was like, wait, at the very end, like as we were going off the call, like, wait, I think next week is our last session. Like, can we keep going? I forget exactly how I said it, but something like that. And it was fine. She did want to renew with me, but I was like totally prepared for her to say no. And I realized after that experience that maybe some of my clients wanted to renew and I never gave them that option. They wanted to sign up with me again and I just assumed they didn't. So we never talked about it. And I thought that they didn't like me and they didn't want to renew with me. And they thought that I wanted to move on to other clients and didn't want to renew with them. Or maybe they didn't even know renewal was a thing. They didn't even know it was an option. So I don't know for sure that that's true, but I had that like awareness come to my mind when it happened to me, and I noticed the thoughts that I had. So your clients could be having these same thoughts. So I want to talk to you about what really matters around creating repeat customers. I talked a little bit about over delivery. I think this is such a big one. You really want the people who work with you to get what they came for. And you really want to, no matter what your business is, whether you're a virtual assistant or a graphic designer or a coach or something else, you really want to think about, what are they coming for? Why do they want that? What could get in their way of having that? How can I make it easier for them to have it, faster for them to have it? How can I make this process more fun, more enjoyable? How can I do this differently than anyone else? I want you all getting so creative about that. I want you really owning your place in your industry as a leader in your industry, as the top of your industry. Even if you hear that and you're like, hell no, that's not me. I want you to imagine that it was, and I want you to show up in your business as if that were already the case. It's fine if you're like 5 years away from literally being the top of your industry. It doesn't matter. I don't actually think I will ever be like the empirically proven leader of the business coaching industry, right? It doesn't matter. I still think of myself as a leader in the business coaching industry. I think of myself as a top coach. Like, I didn't get a trophy that said top coach. I literally just decided to start thinking that about myself over and over and over. Practicing that thought over and over and over until it started to become part of who I was. Thinking it over and over, looking for evidence for how it might be true, but mostly just practicing it, right? So I want you to get into that space, and then I want you showing up in your business as if that were true and really thinking from an empowering place about over delivery. Trust me, I know, because I have been there all the time. You can for sure use the idea of over delivery as a weapon against yourself. Don't do it. You hear this idea of over delivery, and then you start thinking about how you're not good enough and how you're not doing that. And maybe that's why no one's renewing and clients aren't getting results and blah, 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 blah. Don't go there. I want you to act like a mom and you have a toddler that is throwing a fit or doing something else that they're not supposed to do, and you are having a loving but firm boundary. No, thank you. That is not what we do in this house, or however you say it, right? So I want you to really rein that in, because these are just thoughts. Like, your brain is going to present it like this is the gospel truth of the universe. These are just thoughts. They're completely garbage, made up by a completely normal human brain, because that's what they do. Thoughts. And you are in control of your thoughts. Most of you don't have a lot of practice being in control of your thoughts. It doesn't mean you aren't in control. So I want you to start experimenting with being in control of your thoughts. So these thoughts are offered to you and you say, no, thank you. And then you really grasp onto the thought, hey, I'm already really good at delivering. How can I do even better? How can I over deliver? I just never want any concept that I teach you to be something you use against yourself as a weapon. I use my coach and her concepts against myself as a weapon all the time, and it just doesn't feel good. So when I notice myself doing it, I really try to coach myself away from that. I really try to have a shift in my thinking so that I stop doing that, because it just doesn't serve ever. Okay, so over delivery. I want you really thinking about it and really having fun thinking about it, coming up with amazing ideas. over-delivering for your clients, becoming the best in your industry by thinking that you're the best and then showing up like you're the best. And then I want you, next step on the how, I want you actually offering renewal. I want you offering like re-upping, renewing, signing on again. I want you offering retainers. So this really depends by industry, right? So each industry is going to have a different way of looking at it. But for a lot of you service-based entrepreneurs, having a retainer model, so smart. I teach that in Mama to CEO. It's so, so good. So I want you, when people come to the end of your agreement, I want you offering them another agreement. That step in itself will probably make you so much more money than you're currently making. And then finally, the way that makes all of this work is for you to really believe that they want it. And I think this might be the hardest one. And I already shared my story about not thinking that my clients wanted to renew, so then not offering it to them. So I want you to really think about what are all the reasons that I don't think that they want to renew, and how are those silly and not true? I want you to truly look for that, like tear them apart. And then I want you to look for like, why would they want to renew? What are all the amazing reasons that it makes so much sense for them to continue on? Step one could be like, it's just easier. It's like, I don't know if you all ever think about this. And I know not all of you are in relationships, so this won't apply to everybody. But I have this thought sometimes, like being married, it's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine like having to go through the getting to know you phase and the relationship building phase all over again with someone else? Or even with friendships, honestly, like this is not even like limited to romantic relationships. I feel like this with some friends too. It's like, oh my gosh, she already knows the inside of my soul and all the things. Like, we better stay friends forever because I don't want to have to redo all that work. So we could see the same kind of thing with our clients, right? Or even think about this. Like I've had the same thought about like dentists and doctors and stuff. Like it's just easier to stay here. So that is the truth, right? It's just easier to stay with the same virtual assistant. It's just easier to stay with the same web developer, the same life coach, all of those things. So that could be a compelling reason there. Like they're happy and it's easier to stay. Perfect. So start with that and think about what are all of the reasons that they would want to continue on. And not everyone will. And that's not the point. Like we're not here to convince and coerce people to buy something they don't want. That's never the point. It's recognizing that people actually want it a lot more than we think that they do. And when we're in that headspace, we see the opportunities that are all around us. All right, everyone, have an amazing rest of your week, and I will talk to you next week. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com. mamatoceo.com.